Hello Aquarius, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. For those of you who are new, welcome to the channel. I am Nicole. So Aquarius, this is going to be your mid-month September 2023 reading. This will be for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus. Cross-watcher if that is you. Discern the messages, guys, as always. I'm going to try to, if you're interested in other areas of your chart, I'm going to try to get as many of these readings out by Friday as possible. I have some other things going on, so I'm going to do my very best to get these out ASAP for each of you, and hopefully a quick weekend review as to what is to come this weekend specifically. So we'll see. That's the game plan. So we'll roll from there. So for those of you who have subscribed, liked, commented, and shared the channel, thank you so very much. You are greatly appreciated. And for those of you who have donated and booked personal readings as well, thank you so very much for entrusting me with all that stuff in your life, right? So thank you, thank you, thank you. Aquarius, a little bit of meditation before I opened up this reading. And guys, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm tired. It's been a long day, but I'm trying to get these out to you. So bear with me. Aquarius, changing decisions is what Spirit gave me. It's kind of like I don't want to call it a tug of war, and I forget exactly the words that I was given via Spirit, but it is really an opening of the decision process itself, trying to decide if you're coming or going or what you need to do to move forward in a particular situation, and we're going to dive into it. Guys, I will say to you, and I got the chills as I'm getting ready to say this, I said this in Scorpio's reading today, I really feel like these energies this week are going to be intense. You know, we had Venus go direct, we had Jupiter go retrograde, we've got the new moon coming up, Mercury, like I said, going direct at the same time the new moon is happening. We've got the full moon at the end of the month. We're leaving behind that super blue moon energy. There's so much at play here with 7 planets in retrograde, right? So there's just so much happening right now. So I really feel like we are on the cusp of yet another timeline shift. Pay attention to what is happening around you, the whys, the hows. Try not to be rigid in where you're going or the decisions that you're making. Understand that if you're being pushed into an uncomfortable space, it is for the greater good, even if it feels like it's not. So Aquarius, just an intuitive message there that I felt I needed to put out there to each and every single one of you. So Aquarius, let's see what is happening I almost said mid-August. Mid-August could be important. You know, something could have happened around mid-August, but mid-September for you guys, okay? So Aquarius, mid-September, what does the sign of Aquarius need to know? I kind of get the feeling like you're a hound dog right now, trying to discover something, and this may be part of that decision-making process for you. It's kind of like, you know, you think about a hound dog, repetition and perception. Something may feel very familiar to you at this time, reflecting, right, and that repetition, it's a right? Reflection, repetition, whatever it is for you specifically, you're going to know better than I do in regards to your personal situation. But this idea of this hound dog is like a hound dog sniffs out things, right? They're a detective kind of like energy, and I kind of feel like you might think you're hot on the trail to something or trying to figure something out as to what is going on. So energy for Aquarius, please. Brilliance. I talked about that timeline shift. There's that shift popping up. Fragments. Brilliance. Be careful that you are not getting headstrong. And the way I'm seeing this background on this card is volcanic-like, almost erupting. So, and I just said, you know, again, the messages that come through, even when it may feel like I'm rambling to you guys, please pay attention, because there's a reason that those messages are coming out, or I'm saying those things at any specific point. I may not know why at the time, and then the cards kind of reveal the whys, right? But this brilliance kind of has this sense of volcanic energy to it, where this eruption could take place. I'm going to tell you to tread lightly. Whatever it is that you think you're discovering, make sure that it's exactly what you think it is. Make sure that it's not coming. Spirit is saying hedonistic desire. So whatever that means to you, however that fits in your life, in Aquarius 4, 5, 6, this eruption to me feels like it takes place at the very core center of something that you've had going on for some time. And it's almost like, whether this is a meltdown, an angry outburst, whatever this might be, it's coming to the surface. It may have been brewing for some time. Remember, Mercury in retrograde can cause communication issues, right? So if this is words, or I kind of feel like this is more of a thought process than it is, Spirit is saying more than an aha kind of moment. But it's like this energy erupts and then everything moves, and it's like, it's almost kind of like having your bubble bursted. Best way to explain it. So it's like you want to be careful, because it's like, you know, like throwing all your cards down, right? At the poker table, showing your hand. Be cautious of not letting your emotions take control of your mind if they're not in a good place, okay? It's kind of, this is just how that feels to me. So, like you've built up a lot of strength and tenacity, but there's this one portion of you that's ready to just kind of pop off, is how this feels. Protect and believe. Spirit is saying you've got to see something beyond yourself. So I would be careful with your ideas and your thoughts. Protect those. Like, make sure that, you know, like I just said, you know, again, like, I feel like I'm stumbling over my words here. You don't want to show your whole hand, right? So whatever this is, you really need to be careful how you're addressing something at this time. So what is this brilliance for Aquarius? My hands aren't working. My mouth's not working tonight, guys. Sorry. Brilliance. Expand. This expansion, again, this is like, have faith. Again, like, believe and have faith. Something is going to work out. If you're losing your patience with something, this expansion with this brilliance is like, your head, I feel, is like 10 steps ahead of where you actually are. So you may be, I don't want to say that you're thinking the worst, and we'll do some more clarifying, but that's kind of how it feels, is like your head is 10 steps ahead of where you actually are. And it could be a push of control, or trying to push for control of a particular situation. But what Spirit's asking you to do is to sit back and sit down and shut up and just pay attention to what gifts, Spirit's saying gifts are being given to you at this time. Very, I don't know, very interesting energy. Very interesting energy. For Aquarius, please, Spirit, what is the shift? What is the shift? Celebrate comes out in the reverse. You may give. One of the best feelings we experience is giving to others. When we do so, we feel lifted and our lives improve greatly because of someone else's happiness. Think of one way you can give to another today. I feel like, and Aquarius, I can't remember exactly what came out in yours yesterday when I did the weekly read, or even what came out in the September reading. But it's like, with this movement of this calmer energy, you feel defeated, or you feel like something did not quite go the way you wanted it to move, or it did not happen, and now it's like you feel bare, you feel vulnerable, you feel maybe alone. It becomes a very just kind of energy, from this kaboom to this flatlined kind of energy of just, now what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Where do I go? How does this work? Spirit is also, I've got some crazy messages that have been coming in. Spirit is saying that the divine you is not that of the human soul, that it's beyond that, and that may be part of this eruption, or whatever it is that's going on in the 3D for you. It may be sparking a dark night of the soul kind of energy. what I think is interesting is he's got all this passion and all this fire energy within, and you've got the water pouring down, and it creates steam. You know, and it's like it puts the fires out. So if you, again, I talked earlier, and I didn't pay attention until just now, you talk about that water energy, right? And I said about that eruption, that overflow of something, that emotional energy coming out of the surface, you know, coming out from below the surface. It feels very, what's the word I'm going to look for here, Aquarius? It feels powerful, but in the wrong sense, Aquarius. It's stubborn, it's steel, it's non-movable. And you've got to be flexible to have a positive expansion in your life and in your world. So just be aware of that right now, okay? Be aware of that. You have to quit playing safe or staying, you know, making yourself feel like you have to be protected in this constant state of shut down or shut off. Because I want you to think about this. If you're a person who is 11:22 on the clock, if you are a person who has gone forever without crying, every experience that you've had builds up that emotion, and that emotion sits within. So if you've been frustrated, sad, hurt, angry, whatever it might be, there has to be an outlet to that, right? This is a buildup within the self. And for those of you who are working through your spiritual journey, who may just be beginning to experience a dark night of the soul kind of thing, or maybe you're going through this again, which is not uncommon, right? Those emotions have had to go somewhere. And I feel like temper tantrum kind of energy. And Aquarius, you could be dealing with somebody in this area of life, right? Dealing with these things. But it's like, it's all coming to a head at once, and it's just spewing out from every direction. 7 days is also what they're giving me. 7 days. So you may see this happening next week. What did I just say to you? That emotion, that great big love, a lack of love, a lack of that expansion, and exposed and revealed. And I talked about that shift, and you look at that, there is this naked soul in the center of the eyeball, and with this shift card, completely bare. Same thing. The naked soul is being, you know, being put out there to the world. It's vulnerable. It is, you know, feeling completely exposed. And I think I might have said that a little bit ago, right? I can't remember what I said already. But there's some type of, I don't even know if I want to call it truth, but there is this mass awareness that is coming to the surface of a particular situation. And for you, you may feel excessively vulnerable at this time, but understand it's also working to move you. If you've been staying in a particular energy, it is working to move you, Aquarius. A higher view, I just seen that on that second split. All right. This is a new perspective. The storyteller's trying to come out of there. All right, one more card, please, Spirit, for Aquarius. I'm not a big fan of how that came out. Wish upon a star there. I would equate that to Aquarius. And to me, I see they're not quite falling the way I would prefer them to fall here. So, Aquarius, your card. I almost feel like you don't want to be seen. You don't want to be heard. Ears wide open. Paying attention. The need to pay attention to the things around you. One more card, please, Spirit. Guys, wow. Uncharted Sea, the Oracle's Gift. It's like you're bouncing back and forth. I talk about that decision right in the beginning. The way these cards are bouncing around, it's kind of like you're bouncing in and out of this particular energy. 41 and 14 on the clock there just caught my attention as well. Time machine. If you could go back, would you do it differently? Awakening a genius. The Oracle's Gift still lays on the bottom there. This higher perspective. Hangman kind of energy for me, but this is also about the wisdom. This is seeing things very differently, and your visions, your foresight, your and the way you're dealing with something in particular. You know, you think about a volcano erupts into the air. This bird and her are flying off into the middle of nowhere, right? Like they're just making that movement. But it's like you're trying to land in, hone in on something specific. So whatever this is, like, again, if you're like hunting down information, you think you've got it figured out, you've had your, what you think to be is a aha, like, oh my God, I've got it all figured out. I'm going in hot and heavy on this. I'm going to let this situation have it. Because you think you've heard something that's valuable. I don't think you have. When we talk about that Mercury in retrograde right now, be aware of the miscommunication. I really want to say that to you. Be so aware. Do not let conversations that you've overheard be a dictating factor to a decision that you make. You've got to stop and ask yourself if this is for your highest good. If your intuitive spirit is guiding you to do this, or if it is the ego and this eruption of emotions that is coming in going, just react. Respond rather than reacting, Aquarius. You got 3, 3, 3 here, and then you've got that 5. You got a double 11, 11, 11, 16, 16 just on the clock. Lots of numbers popping up here. That 3, 3, 3 to me is always answered prayers. Take a higher perspective. Take a higher shift in how you're seeing something. Have genuine conversation. You know, this awakened genius is about learning lessons. It's about our soul's wisdom. It is about what we carry forward with from our ancestors. You may be repaying debts from those from before you. You could be repaying debts from a past point and period in your life. That 3 again on this clock for this time machine is sticking out to me very significantly. Pay attention to the third parties that you are dealing with. I want to say to you, if you're dealing with somebody older than you, or someone who appears or acts to be older in some sense, I just want to say to you, do you think they're being honest? And I don't know where that's coming from, but the intuitive. But it's like, I feel like your head's been pumped full of stuff, because you're tuned in, your radar is on, you're listening to all these things, but I don't know that you're discerning this information accordingly. Be careful with popping off before the end of Mercury retrograde. And again, don't forget, there's a post-shadow phase to this. Yes, it starts to lessen. Yes, it's not as intense. But of all the Mercury retrogrades we've had to date this year and what's to come, this is by far the one you really want to watch for. It seems to be more intense. And again, those retrogrades, we're learning, right? So we want to be sure that we're making the right judgment call on anything that's going on in our lives. This higher view, Spirit, what is this about for Aquarius, please? This higher view. Blue paint, by the way. I don't know, right? Blue paint. Yeah. Action and moving forward. This is like you rushing into a situation. You taking this action and moving away from it. Like, I feel like if you find yourself, this is the point and moral of the story. If you find yourself in a position where you're taking quick, eruptive action, you have got to stop yourself. You have got to stop yourself. Plain and simple. What is this higher view, Spirit? The Emperor and the 9 of Wands. You know, the Emperor rules. He rules his kingdom. He rules with an iron fist. He doesn't get beat up in action. But I feel like, and there's the 10 of Wands on the bottom, that you're coming from this place of wanting to have control, right? He controls his empire. I feel like there's a part of you that is tired, worn out, beat up, right? The 9 of Wands is the wounded warrior. Sitting on your throne, just fed up with something. But the problem I'm feeling with this, Aquarius, is the solitary energy that sits with it. Like, it's you in your thoughts, you just wanting to do something about a situation, wanting to change the way this is going, and you're trying to force an outcome to something. You can't force. When you're working against that, you know, you're working against resistance. You're working against your greater good, period. And what you need to do is just walk away. That Six of Wands is moving on to calmer waters, moving on to other shores. It is, you know, walking away, just getting the hell out of Dodge before something becomes 10 times harder than it needs to be. It's you know, if it's a loss, then calling it a loss. These ears wide open. Spirit just said, and give me 1 second, I'm gonna get it back. If communication and cooperation is had, balance will be restored. So whatever this situation is, like, you've got the ability, and I think there's somebody else who is willing to work with you, but it's gonna be it's gonna be a very decisive action. They may not have come across as loving or kind, maybe so much, but they're willing to work and compromise with you. Like, they're willing to work and put in, you know, they've got the tools, you've got the tools, you both have this ability to work through something. You may be popping off and maybe not getting a reaction that you thought you would be getting. I'm going to reiterate the fact 41. I've seen it again. You might be 41. You could be dealing with somebody that's 41. The number 41 could have great significance. 41 or 14 or 4 in general could be of significance to you. And they're also bringing up the month of April as well. So this could go back to April, whatever that means for you. But what Spirit is saying is that given the right cooperation, given the right elements, something can change for the better. That Four of Wands and the Nine of Swords. And I don't think you see how this turns out for the greater good. How this turns out to benefit you or anybody else, whatever this situation is for you. What is this Queen of Swords about? Five of Pentacles. You have a very a very certain way of viewing this, and I feel like if things aren't done in a very open and communicative fashion, both sides of a situation are going to feel like they're lost. Spirit says support those who support you. You may just be kind of in a tug of war kind of situation with something or someone else, and you're letting your thoughts dictate how the outcome of this situation is going to occur. Be mindful of how you're addressing things, okay? This Time Machine and Awakening Genius Spirit. Two of Swords in the reverse position. The Three of Swords. I feel like there's a lot of regret and sadness tied to a situation. Again, if you could go back and do it differently. Five of Wands and the Moon. Aquarius, the Tower, Page of Wands. I'm not a fan of the Page of Wands. We know this. He's a car salesman like to me. It's forever how I'll label him for the most part, especially with the Tower and the Moon here. I feel as defeated as you do. You know, you might be feeling right now. This is yucky. This is pain. This is turmoil. This is fighting. This is not finding a resolution. And I feel like Spirit's advice about the communication is kind of giving you what this 333 is, this answered prayer. Like, if this is truly what you're vying for, then this is how it has to be done. Like, everything you need to make that happen is available to you. But if you come off in this space of this eruptive energy, it's going to turn into, like, sabotage of a situation in general, whether it's with you specifically, you and another person dealing with you. it creates great pain, immense, you know, like bleeding and tears and heartbreak. And it leads to greater, like, you know, it's like everybody's out for themselves. Everybody's fighting this internal battle. And Aquarius, I will say to you that this could just be passed down. I would also go back and check out like 11 years ago. What was going on 11 years ago? Are you dealing with something that's similar? And I know I say that often, but guys, those patterns repeat in our lives. They repeat hardcore, and we better pay attention and wake up, right? This tower with the moon. Spirit is saying they give me these messages, and it's like my brain is fleeting tonight. Your free will is going to be taken away, because with this tower, what happens? That's the universe stepping in and going, this is the way we're doing things, and you don't understand why. That illusionary energy of the moon, the secrets, you may feel as if, for some of you, like you need to outsmart something or somebody, and with that, it's not going to benefit you. It will not benefit you. I want you to know that. Things will balance out. And I'm going to say in due time, you need to rest. You need to stop and rest on this, because somebody is working on something when it comes to you. The star in the reverse, Aquarius, there you are. You know, that is not healing. Our desires not being met. There's so much to that, right? And it's an awareness as it lays there with the Five of Pentacles, as I threw it there. What is the star in the reverse about, Spirit? Star in the reverse. High Priestess, because you didn't trust yourself. You didn't trust the inner knowing of a situation. Death card. Aquarius, like I could like sit here and talk with my eyes closed, because Spirit's coming in so heavy. You might have met your match on something or a particular situation. This Death card, this is transformation. These are majors, right? Even if they are in the reverse, they're still the major arcanas, and you've got a lot of them here. You've got the Emperor, the Magician, the High Priestess, the Star, the Death card, the Tower, the Moon, Justice. So you've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 majors out of 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, out of 14. 8 majors out of 14 cards. This is meant to happen this way. Like, you cannot outsmart the universe. You cannot outsmart their divine plan for what it is. They are the ruling factors here. They are going to make the final decision. It's like, for whatever reason, and it has a lot to do with astrology, the north and the south nodes moving so much. Karmic situations, I think, for every sign across the board are happening right now. And I think I said this in Scorpios, I might have said it in the weekly read. Where you have stood in your decision-making process, if you let your ego rule the roost, and your ego got bruised, and you feel backstabbed, betrayed, hurt in any capacity, you feel lacking, you didn't trust the universe's divine plan for you. Karma is there, and Aquarius, all my love, sincerely, like not love bombing you or blowing smoke up your ass. Like, I do this because I want to help people at the end of the day. I want to see people create better lives, and I tend to pick up on the dark and the yucky and the mucky and all that shit. That's always been my thing, right? It's to bring this to light for you, so you understand what's going on, why it's happening the way that it is, so that you move on from that energy. You cannot rule with an iron fist and expect everybody to get on board. If you think about it, like we tell our children, you treat people the way you expect, or the way you want to be treated, right? So if we're going into a situation and we're having this explosive energy about something, you're going to put someone else on the defensive. And again, Aquarius, this could be you dealing with somebody, or somebody else, you know, you're dealing with is coming at you this way. So again, discern that accordingly. But this isn't about the wins and the losses. This is about the lessons. That is the imperative note to take from this, is this is about the lessons. This is about a restoration of balance, and that the way that this has been done for however long it's been, with whatever situation it is for you, it cannot continue on in this fight, in this arguments, and third parties getting involved in things. Spirit is saying this is your battle and your battle alone. 30:30 on the clock. This is your battle to figure out. It is not for someone else to be up in your ear, or you trying to eavesdrop, or whatever the hell's going on. This is about you going within. And this High Priestess in the reverse, you know, it could be secrets being revealed as well, right? And this creates a massive ending. Like, this is done, finito, we are no more. Like, whatever this is, it is done, 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 done. Major changes. Major changes are on the horizon, Aquarius. I feel like I'm beating you guys up. I'm sorry if I am. But I feel like where you guys tend, and again, no slight, right? Where you guys tend to lack some emotionality, or maybe, again, could be somebody you're dealing with lacking emotionality. It's a buildup of a long time coming, where these emotions haven't been dealt with, or haven't been felt, or haven't been addressed. And now they're here. And now, all of it, by way means of the universe, God, Spirit, whatever you put your faith into, it's coming to a close. It's coming to a massive ending with that Death card. That Death card with the High Priestess and the Justice and the Moon and the Tower is just in the Star in the reverse. It's not getting what you want as divine order, but it's for a reason. It's for a greater reason. And I think, like, I want to just kind of beat it into your heads. You've got to understand the reason as to why. Like, I feel like even after Mercury retrogrades ends, and we're still going through these other retrograde periods, it's still going to be a review process for you. So, you know, take heed in that, and ask yourself the whys. Ask yourself the tough questions. Journal them. Figure them out, right? Okay. Advice for Aquarius, please, Spirit. Advice for Aquarius, please. Advice for Aquarius. Give me something. Advice for Aquarius, please. Advice for Aquarius. The Book of Changes. I don't think I've ever seen this card come out. Seriously, all the times I've used this deck. The Book of Changes. Just like a beautiful but unusual melody, the divine plan is unfolding through your life. Although it isn't always predictable, Kuan Yin is guiding you in the right direction. Even if you do not fully understand what is happening in your life right now, allow Kuan Yin to bless you with trust in the unfolding of your own divine path. There it is. You know, there it is. There's no other way to wrap up that reading, and that is absolutely perfect to everything I just said to you. And my last little plea, essentially, like, if you don't understand why this is happening, dive in to figure it out. Start to unravel parts of you. Start to dissect you, right? It's accountability within ourselves. I mean, I think sitting with ourselves and becoming aware of our own bullshit, it's tough, right? It's like, and I've been there, guys. Like, I'm not exempt from this. Like, I've sat with my own shit and going, you know what? That was just stupid. Like, why did I do it that way for so long? Why did I, you know, make this harder than it needed to be? It was because we were meant to learn something from that experience. So don't get down on yourself. Don't feel bad, which I'm sure you will. Like, I can tell you not to, and you're still going to feel that way, right? But it is to change the direction of where you're heading at this point. It is that cutoff. And the universe is stepping in on your behalf, even if you don't see it. Trust it. That's so very important. Aquarius, I'm leaving that shit there. We're done. Goodness, guys. If you found this reading resonated, please hit that like, share, subscribe. Feel free to comment too. Again, I'm sending you love, like healing, whatever you're dealing with. Golly, right? Just gosh. So, I'm wishing you guys the best in the midst of September and always, right? Sending you so much love. If you're interested in a personal reading to dive into your personal situation, that information can be found in the description box below, as well as the about section of the page. You can go ahead and go to holisticallyzenwv.com too for a full list of products and services as well. 35 on the timer. 8 cycles. All right, Aquarius, take care of yourselves. I'm sending you love and light. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.